Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there friends, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. And today in the Bible Bistro we're going to look at verses 2 and 3 here in Psalm 76. I said yesterday that Psalm 76 has a kind of an interesting background to it. I'm not sure which one of these is the background. It's either, the taking of Rabbah, the attack of Sennacherib, or the victory at Baal Perazim. And I don't know which one. But all of them are wonderful candidates, but I'm going to select one that I think is the background for it. And yesterday we read verse 1. We talked about the division between Judah and Israel, but even though there's a division, notice that there is one religion. There is one true faith. God is known in Judah. His name is great in Israel. And so, of course, what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that even though there are divisions, and sometimes there are divisions even among God's people, that, the Lord can heal those divisions because we come together around a unity. That is, that God is great, that He is known, that He is wonderful. His wonderful deeds proclaim. Now, we come to verses 2 and 3, and really he continues that thought. In Judah, in Israel, now, verse 2, in Salem also is His tabernacle, and His dwelling place in Zion. There brake He the arrows of the bow, the shield and the sword and the battle. Selah. So verses 2 and 3 give us a little bit more information here. So we have in Judah, in Israel, in Salem, in Zion. Now we understand where we are. So Salem is His tabernacle, His dwelling place is in Zion. And Salem is an ancient name for Jerusalem. And Zion, of course, we know is the name for Jerusalem as well. His tabernacle is there. David pitched it. His dwelling place is in Zion. Solomon built that temple there. And then we come to verse 3. There, that is, in Zion, in Salem, He brake the arrows of the bow, the shield and the sword, and the battle, Selah. So this is why I think that what we're looking at here is a statement about, well, and we'll see more of that tomorrow, but we begin with this idea of the attack of Sennacherib. I'm going to land there as the background of this psalm. Because he brake it at Jerusalem, he broke the arrows of the bow, the shield, and the sword. So Sennacherib in 2 Kings chapter 19, he's the king of Assyria, and he comes up against the city of Jerusalem, and he sends messengers to the city of Jerusalem. And the messengers mock God, and they tell Hezekiah and everybody else there that they have no business depending on their God, because Sennacherib has destroyed all of the kings that he's ever come up against, and all of the gods that he's ever come up against. And they recount all of that. So Hezekiah takes that letter, and he goes to Isaiah and Hezekiah, they go to the temple together. So this is the time of Isaiah's ministry. They go to the temple together, they lay that letter out before the Lord, and then the Lord replies. And so in chapter 19, 2 Kings, let me turn there real quick. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, He shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with the shield, or cast a bank against it. So you'll notice that in verse 3 it says, He brake the arrows of the bow, the shield, and the sword, and the battle. So all of that the Lord took care of before anything happened there in the city. But it was against Jerusalem. That's why I think that this falls in line more with this invasion and threat than any other battle victory that was won. Because you see, with the Lord there is victory. What did the people do in Jerusalem at that time to gain themselves the victory over a superior foe? Well, they didn't do it with arms, did they? And they didn't do it with their great might. They didn't do it with their great understanding or intellect. No, the battle was won and is always won in the presence of the Lord and not on the field of campaign. That's the way the battle is always won. And so it is again here. The people, the king representing the people and the prophet going before the Lord, and that's where the battle was won. It was won on their knees when they laid out that letter to the Lord and said, this is what they say, but we know you're greater. So in Judah, God is known. His name is great in Israel. Friend, when you have conflict in your life, is that conflict going to be won because you're smarter, you're stronger, you're faster? Or is it going to be won on your knees? And sometimes, in conflict, it's not we that need to win, but it's the Lord that needs to win over us. We don't need to get what we're after sometimes. So victory comes, and it's His victory. Sometimes it's over us. Sometimes it's over our enemies. But we always need to let Him be the one to make that way, not us. Selah. Join me again tomorrow. We'll look at verses 4, 5, and 6 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.